What is going on, all you savages out there? It's your boy Savage here, bringing you all another video. Now, I know it's been a long time coming, but since Battlefield 6 just came out and just recently dropped their open beta, I figured I'd make a new video, show you guys some gameplay, as well as talk to you about my experience and my thoughts on the game. We're going to be going over the pros and the cons of what I've seen and what I've experienced during the beta, and we're going to get to the truth about Battlefield 6. So before we get right into it, please be sure to engage with this video. Like the video if you like it, dislike this video if you don't like it, comment and tell me your opinions down below. So to just get right into this, I just want to go over some of the pros to start. So one of the biggest things I noticed was the fluidity of the game. Now, I know people hear that and they're like, damn, the bar is really in hell, huh? And I can definitely understand that. I can definitely see why people have, negative feelings about it. But as far as gameplay being fluid, I feel like it's so important. We have Call of Duty right now who's implemented Omni movement. So just being in the FPS genre right now and having bad fluidity within the game where it feels a little clunky, it feels a little jagged and rugged, it just doesn't have that modernized feel to it. But that can't be said about Battlefield. Battlefield is so good. It does not have Omni movement like Call of Duty. That's kind of like their own pioneer thing, which is great for them. But just sticking on the topic of Battlefield, it feels good. The gunplay feels good. Transitioning into things between gunfights and between everything going on, it's fantastic. I can't stress it enough. To get back into the movement mechanics, I will say the movement mechanics feel right for this game. Now, I know everyone's used to sliding around because we have Apex and we have Call of Duty, and a lot of other modern games have all implemented these crazy movement mechanics, but it feels so refreshing to be able to just have a classic, authentic, boots on the ground experience where you don't have to worry about somebody slide jumping across a fucking doorway and hitting you with every round before you even have a chance to react. It's actually so refreshing. There is sliding in this game, but it's not like other titles where it's really excessive. You could probably slide for maybe about 2 to 3 feet, and if you get really good with the movement, you can kind of get into a flow of like jump sliding around the map and stuff. But I will say is, if you're trying to traverse and you're trying to really move fast through the map, the fastest way to get through this is to just run with your knife out. You can sprint from one end of the map to the next in no time flat. There's no stamina in this game, so you're not going to be fucking huffing and puffing as you're getting your fucking chunky ass up the field. It's really just not too crazy. It's definitely fitting for this genre of game, especially for a Battlefield. All right, on to the next thing. We're going to be talking about maps. Now, we only had, I believe, 3 maps, at least only 3 maps that I got to experience. This map that you're seeing right now is probably my favorite. It's a lot of close quarters, fighting between alleyways and neighborhoods and main roads. On Conquest, you have the C flag with a broken bus. The design is just really nice. It's I don't know, I want to say it's probably Battlefield's best work. Like they do have a history of making these phenomenal maps, these huge maps, these very destructive and oh man, I'm at a loss for words just to describe this. But this map in particular is definitely one of my favorites, and we'll get into some of the other maps later. But as for now, this map that we got to play, fantastic. It's really a good balance for vehicles. It's a good balance for infantry gunplay. It's good balance for rotating. You're not feeling like you're just getting funneled into one lane, which, don't get me wrong, everybody loves Operation Metro. I love Operation Metro myself. We probably will see a return of that when the game does finally release. I'm looking forward to that. But just being able to sample like maps like this, it's good to see that they are really thinking about all of these things and implementing them in such a fantastic fashion. All right, so next we're going to be talking about the team play. As we all know, this is Battlefield. If you're not familiar with these titles, this is what the game is all about. Working together as a team to conquer a certain goal. So I've been playing a lot of Conquest and my favorite, Breakthrough, and I will say the team play is fantastic. If you really have your squad operating and working as if you are supposed to within the means of this game, it's so fantastic. This experience is unlike anything else in any other genre of game. I can't stress it enough. The medic role is fantastic. They did a good job. It has that Battlefield 3 feel where you can just, run, hit everybody with the shock paddles, get everybody back up, keep them in the fight, and keep that heavy push onto objectives. It's so fucking awesome. You can also be medic with just playing support in general, just giving people ammo, getting people heals, because you want to be, you know, throwing that med pack so people can get their faster health recovery and stuff like that. It's so nice. I feel like it's really good. If you're into that more classic field, they have the class restriction game mode for Conquest, which is pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Me personally, though, I'm one of those people that I don't really care what class you're running or what gun you're running. I like that freedom to be able to choose, but that's just me personally. So if you're into that kind of thing, they did make something specifically just for you as well. As far as the engineer class, I feel like the engineer class does really well. It's nice. You could take down a lot of tanks without too much issue. I will say the recon class, a good alternative method as far as fighting vehicles though, because as you see in this gameplay, I'm running recon. Those C4 are fucking amazing. Fuck that RPG when I can just run up, throw 3 packs of fucking goodies and get the fuck out of there and just watch that thing blow sky high. It's fantastic. If you guys haven't tried it, I highly recommend on the next open beta coming up this weekend, you guys give the recon class a try and use that C4 on some vehicles. I guarantee you it'll take care of their problem in no time. And as far as the assault class is nice. You get 3 weapons. You know, it's kind of straightforward. We're just going to get into it. We didn't get to see them put the spawn beacon on the assault class. I'm hoping that we get to see that implemented and get to test it out this upcoming weekend. But as far as the assault class goes, I enjoyed it. It's nice having 3 weapons, 2 primaries and 1 sidearm. The sidearm really isn't, you know, it's really not effective. So playing assault, having that shotgun or even a sniper, you can use a sniper on the backup. It's nice to have. It's a good option. It's a good option to run just so you're more versatile and you can kind of handle any situation as you need to. And the recon class kind of speaks for itself. It's really good. The sniping feels really fun. You can actually quick scope, which may not be a thing, you know, come release time. We'll have to see. I feel like there will be adjustments to sniping. Whether they'll be drastic or not, I guess time will tell. As far as the vehicle balancing feels nice. I didn't feel like I was getting absolutely peppered and obliterated, diced up and fucking sauteed by every vehicle that I came across. They were pretty easy to deal with for the most part. They do feel strong. They do feel like they can handle shit. They can handle shit, especially if you have your team working to do repairs while you're going about it. So overall, I can't say I have any complaints about the vehicle so far. Could that change? Perhaps. I guess we'll see come full release if the vehicles are still a little bit too much, depending on certain maps. But from what I got to experience, it felt really nice. It felt good to have them in the game. It didn't feel too punishing, and they were, you know, like I said, very, very straightforward as far as getting them out of the match. And last but not least, probably the biggest thing on this pros list, okay, is the dialed down skilled based matchmaking. I know everybody and their cousin, sister's mother absolutely despises skilled based matchmaking, but I'm here to tell you this game is actually doing something in the right direction. It felt so fucking good, okay? So good to not be getting punished for playing good. It's so hard to even describe how refreshing this game feels because of this one change. Now, Battlefield did state that they were going to dial back their skilled-based matchmaking, so it would not be a Call of Duty experience where you play really good and then the next game you get on, you get absolutely annihilated from then on. That's one thing that keeps Call of Duty uninstalled from my game, is like I can totally reason with having SBMM and like ranked game modes and things like that. It makes complete sense. But as far as just playing the game casually, it's a terrible experience when you get on, you have a decent game, and then you just can't have fun after that. You know, fun is subjective to, you know, whoever is, you know, experiencing it. In my case, it's just not it. But this game is great. You can have a good game. You can have a stretch of good games. I did get in games where I was absolutely pummeled and beaten up and battered. There was plenty of those games. But I will say those games were so far and few between that it made no difference to my experience. I always woke up the next day and was like, I need to be playing Battlefield. I want to be playing Battlefield. I'm excited to play some Battlefield. And because of that, I can't stress it enough. They did a fantastic job with this SBMM. I hope they keep it this way. I hope it stays to be as refreshing as it is, because I'll be putting in so much hours into this. I'll be dropping so much content if it stays this way. There's not many FPS games that I'm really too inclined to play these days, but this one is definitely hitting all the bullet points. All right, now let's jump into some of the negatives. And I want to start off by saying that it actually was pretty difficult to get into the negatives, but I made sure that I put enough negatives on here because there's always got to be criticism, and I'm always one to preach making sure that criticism is given where needed. So just to start right off the jump, I feel like sniping is definitely on that negatives list, and it could have been more on my radar because of the maps that we were given. So I guess we'll combine this next point into the same point, but just again, sticking on to the sniping felt slightly inconsistent in an overpowered way, right? Now what I mean by that is, I guess now we have 3 different fatal shots on a character's body. It's like the groin area, it's the really mid section of your torso, and obviously the middle of your head. So I don't know if it's always been like that, because it has been quite some time since I've actually deep dived into Battlefield games. I will say it felt a little weird. Like, it felt like you could get one shot in the body without, you know, having any damage sustained to you pretty often. Not like often enough where like it was pissing me off and making me want to leave the game, but it happened enough where I did take note of it and like have a mental note like, all right, like something feels a little off here. Even when I was sniping myself, you know, there was times where I would kill someone and be like, oh my god, like I killed that guy. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely was a little bit odd. And it's another thing, it was the sniper thing. I'm sure everybody's seen the screenshots on Twitter. It was so excessive that, I mean, I don't know if they want to just dial it down just a little bit, but just having those giant beams of light all over the place, all over in the mountains, it was terrifying. I mean, it's great to be able to see where people are looking at you from, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to see anything and even, you know, pinpoint what's going on when you have all these, you know, solar flare looking objects in the distance. It's a little overwhelming at times, so hopefully they can just scale that back just a little bit. And the next thing is Liberation's Peak. Liberation's Peak, I can't wait to be able to not play this map come launch. I know they've been talking about not adding the server browser. I think they were talking about potentially adding it for a beta. We'll be able to experience the server browser. I really hope they do, because I'm not gonna lie, it happens with me at every beta. You play a map so much that you just never want to play it again, and Liberation's Peak is it for me. Because there was no server browser in this particular beta, you know, you only had really 2 options here depending on the game mode you were playing. And for the first day of the open beta, it's the only map I played. I played this map maybe 1 or 2 times. Every other time it was Liberation's Peak. So the sniping was just a lot. It did feel really overwhelming at times. And like I said, I can't wait to not play Liberation's Peak ever again. I think the map itself is designed really awesome. It's fantastic on certain game modes, such as like King of the Hill and, you know, the smaller infantry type game modes. It's designed super well for that, but as far as like Breakthrough in particular, it's really tough. And even Conquest can be really annoying sometimes, depending on how the game is laid out. Like if a team is controlling C and all their snipers are there, it can get really bad really fast. The next thing on the negative list is out of map glitches. There was a ton of out of map glitches, and some were really, really bad, to the point where like you could be shooting people and they couldn't even see you, and even if they were able to make out where you were shooting them from, they couldn't do anything because you were just shooting the texture in front of them. I'm highly hopeful that these are all going to be nerfed, if not by next weekend, by the time the game comes out. And it wasn't really too bad until you had these, you know, high detailed streamers and content creators on TikTok really posting about it. I do understand that obviously you want to do that to make awareness of it so it gets patched faster. It also kind of makes the experience kind of shit when everybody sees you doing something and then they go to exploit that same thing in the masses. So, you know, 2 sides to the coin. I'm really not too pressed about it. It is what it is. The beta's over by the time I'm recording this, but definitely something that I did notice was a big issue. Hopefully they do iron out a lot of that before the game does release, and, you know, take note of that after release as well with some of the newer maps that we haven't been able to access and touch. Next thing on the list, I feel like destruction could be more. They did fantastic with the destruction. I do feel like there are certain areas or certain maps where it's kind of lackluster. Maybe it's just because they really wanted to highlight a lot of just the highly dense battle parts of it, which I can completely understand. That's really good. But you know, certain alleyways, certain places in the map, I feel like there definitely could be some more destruction to really highlight and emphasize all the chaos that already goes on. Is that gonna make or break the game for me? Absolutely not. But I think it definitely could have added some more to the experience, for sure. Going on to RPGs. Now, I did spend an entire day just playing engineer because I had so much fun playing the class. But RPGs were something I did definitely take note of. They feel extremely weak against infantry. Now, I'm not saying these things need to fucking explode and absolutely demolish everybody in its path, because obviously that'd be too overpowered. But I did notice that, like, they really just don't do anything sometimes. Like, if you don't directly hit someone with an RPG, it's almost as if nothing happened to them. They'll take a little damage, they'll run off, and it's just no big deal. I do feel like your proximity to the explosion itself should definitely be amped up some, because, you know, if an RPG could sense your way, I'm more than likely you're going to be getting taken out, depending on how close it is to you. You know, I can't speak from experience, obviously, but I don't know. I definitely feel like they do need to be dialed up just a bit as far as fighting infantry. As far as fighting tanks, they're all right, but it was just kind of crazy watching people, you know, take an RPG within 2 meters and running away. But that's just me. And lastly, the last bullet point on the negatives list, I will say, is that some guns definitely need a slight buff. Not too much of a buff, but just a little bit of tweaking I feel could go a long way for a lot of these weapons. One I feel like is like the M4. I did see a lot of people using it, but even after I had gotten it all the way up to level 20, I think was the max level, playing with the attachments and doing the gunsmithing and stuff, it really wasn't hitting. Like, I don't know. It just definitely didn't feel like an assault rifle. It felt more like an SMG, and I didn't use it at all. After I fully leveled it up, I dropped it and never used it again. And there's a couple of other guns, I can't think of what the names are off the top of my head, that feel just really weak. They just feel like you're shooting peas, and you know, I don't know. I think definitely some weapon balancing could be good. I'm not gonna say anything about the shotguns. I know a lot of people were really pissed about the shotguns, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking shotgun. I think people need to look more into like the capabilities of a shotgun. If you're up close, you're in the kill zone. You know, I was getting absolutely demolished by shotguns playing like King of the Hill on these close quarters maps. It's tough, it really is, but at the same sense, can you really be mad when a guy's running up on you with a fucking loaded shell and he's got slugs? Like, I'm probably gonna have a fucking hole in my chest if that happens. So I could totally understand. I could totally get what they're going with. It didn't feel too bad. It did, you know, you could noticeably see the difference between being in a 5 meter range and being in a 7 to 8 meter range, or 7 to 10 meter range. Sorry, you're definitely getting hit markers the further out you are, and it's really not too bad. It doesn't feel too overpowered. It felt pretty balanced. Like I said, it's a fucking shotgun. I mean, what do you expect? It's a close quarters killing machine. But yeah, that's really all I have for as far as the negatives. Those are all the pros and cons of this video. That's all I really had. It really wasn't too much. It wasn't too bad. I will just speak just to my opinion as well. I am definitely going to be getting this game on release. I'm going to be streaming it, so make sure you guys go check out the Twitch channel below in the socials, twitch.tv/oSVGE. That's where you'll be able to find me come launch day. If you guys want to hang out, run some games as well, I'll be playing with viewers. I'll be streaming the game, so if you don't have the time to get it yourself or play, check it out. Come stop by, and let's have fun together. As far as my personal experience goes, I enjoyed it. I love this game. I think it's good. I think it's going to be so super refreshing for the FPS genre. I look forward to seeing what Battlefield is going to do upon release. I can't wait to see. They said they're going to be having community vote to see what maps they're going to be adding. They're doing a lot of really great stuff, and I think that the FPS scene absolutely needs this so bad right now. I know we've all been waiting to hold out on pre-orders. If I really had the option, I probably would. I'd probably break that and do the pre-order myself right now. I had such a good time. I am gonna wait and hold out until come closer to release date before I do anything. I want to see how these next two other open betas go, and just make sure, like, you know, that this developer is going to be actually being attentive to the game, and then we don't have another 2042 situation. No shade, but hey, I'm just keeping it a B and keeping it at 100 because that's all I can never be. But yeah, make sure you guys engage with the video. drop your opinions down below. I'd love to hear what you guys thought. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it. We are probably going to be getting into some more videos. I do have a lot more gameplay to be sharing with you guys, so I'm going to be sharing some gameplay. I'm going to be talking about other topics and a lot of things that had come up during this whole first open beta experience. So definitely be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you guys can be updated on the next time I post a video. And definitely, like I said, be sure to check out all the other socials. Twitter is the best way to get in touch with me. If you ever need to talk to me about anything, DM me over there, follow me over there, stay up to date via Twitter and all the other socials. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. It's been your boy Savage, and I'm out. Peace.